Hello everyone, and welcome to my Let's Play of Discworld Noir. Now, I'm playing this on the PS1, but, this version of it is not fantastic, but sadly, the PC version does not work on any, modern PC without some crazy amount of skills. Following the start of this, there'll be a short bit of, story that's just text, but it moves way too fast for me to be able to read it, and I tried to record it with me reading it, but it doesn't work. So, after this loading screen stops, and I get to starting a new game, you will have reading to do, and I will not be reading it because it's too annoying. So enjoy that, and let's start the game. Oh. Dun dun dun. Uh-oh. It's not a great way to start a game, being stabbed through the chest. So I've had a few issues trying to set up this game, but this seems to be quite hopeful how well it's going now. Let's see.
I've had some bad days since I started work as a private investigator. But I'd never woken up dead before. It all started the week before, on a cold and wet Sectober day in Ankh-Morpork, the oldest and most depraved of all the cities on the Discworld. But hey, you've got
To love it. For some reason it cuts off to love it. But now it won't, because I've added it in.
I'd been working as a PI for a little over a month, and business was slow. Hiring an investigator to look into your business requires trust, and the amount of trust in Ankh-Morpork wouldn't fill a cup. And it's a small cup I'm talking about. Sure, people trust that you don't get on the wrong side of the patrician. People trust that you don't walk into the shades alone. People trust that the Assassin's Guild will fulfill their contracts or double your money back. Yeah, people even trust death. Just don't ask them to trust their mothers.
But, anyway, we got past a bit that's mostly been terrible so far, so hopefully now the game will work fine.
Mr. Lewton?
If I'm not, I should fire the guy who painted the door.
So this is what a private investigator looks like. I expected someone more heroic.
Heroism costs extra.
I
What
don't
can
know
I
how
do
terrible
for
the
you,
animation
Miss?
is. We're just kind of wobbling.
Mrs. Actually. And the name is Carlotta.
Okay, Mrs. Actually. Carlotta it is. What's a girl like you doing out on a night like this?
I want to hire you, Mr. Lewton.
Please, call me Lewton. Mister sounds so formal.
How much do you charge for a simple investigation?
I don't know. I've never had a simple investigation. A tricky one is 20 a day.
I'll give you 200 in advance, plus expenses.
For 200, I guess I should treat you with some respect.
Oh, I wouldn't ask a guy like you to attempt the impossible.
What's the case?
I want you to find a man named Mundy.
Why do you want to find Mundy?
Do you know him?
No. And this case will go a lot faster if you let me ask the questions.
You like to be in control, don't you, Lewton?
If you don't pull the strings, then you're the puppet. Tell me about you and Mundy.
I've been a lonely woman, Lewton.
You amaze me.
Be surprised.
Shocked, maybe, but not surprised.
Mundy is my lover, Lewton. Or used to be. He's been away for a while, over in Sort. He came back to Ankh-Morpork a couple of days ago on the Milka. But he didn't come to see me. I think he may be having an affair. You're wondering whether my husband knows about it.
Actually, I was wondering when you were going to give me the money.
My husband passed away several years ago.
I hope the poor guy was smiling at the time. Is there anything you can tell me about Mundy that might help me find him?
He's got blue eyes, brown hair, and a black heart. You'd like him.
Has he got any friends in Ankh-Morpork?
Does anyone?
How tall is he?
I don't know. I don't picture him standing up.
What was Mundy's business in Sort?
I don't know. I never asked about his work, and he never told me.
Must be a very straightforward relationship.
As simple as they come.
Where can I find the ship he came in on?
Down at the wharf.
Have you been there yourself?
I avoid places like that. Women and seamen.
Forget I asked. This is a bad neighborhood for you to come into alone, Carlotta.
I can take care of myself.
I believe you.
Good. Trust is important.
I said I believed you. I never said I trusted you.
Don't you like me, Lewton?
I like a lot of things. I like dogs, but I wouldn't trust one not to bite me.
I won't bite.
Shame. I haven't been bitten in a long while. I'd better get started on your case. Where can I contact you?
I'll be in touch. Be seeing you, Lewton.
I hoped I would see her again, because she still hadn't paid me. Still, it wasn't every day that a beautiful woman offered me a case. Frankly, it wasn't often that anybody offered me a case. And 200 would certainly help pay the rent, if I had anything left over from my bar bill.
Well, there we go. So we're looking for Mundy, for Carlotta. I don't remember if it's like that in the PC version as well, but the audio does not flow very well. Like, the interrupting of him saying, like, stuff that midway through her sentences does not work because there's this gap. But anyway, let's look at some of the stuff in this
I
room.
had purchased a large indexed scroll rack to keep track of all the cases I was going to handle. The Mundy case made it 2. Sapient pearwood comes from a plant so magical that it is totally impervious to all forms of magic, and so valuable that thieves have cut each other's throats to own it. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford a desk made out of it, so I made do with pine. It's a nice desk, though.
Let me see if I can turn down the music. I'm sure I did before, but I don't know if it's remembered that I did. No, it hasn't. Because I want you to be able to hear me. So let's turn the music down a bit. What am I doing? No, don't load game. What are you doing? Let's save a game, actually, whilst we're here. Oh. Oh, there we go. That worked, kind of. Let's have a look at some other stuff in this office.
I'd purchased the imp-powered coffee bean machine from Cut-Me-Own-Throat Dibbler, the man whose name was the byword for quality. With CMOT Dibbler, you could say bye to quality. I'll say this for the ICBM. It made coffee strong enough to blow your head off. On the downside, the imp tended to use most of the beans to fuel its own addiction. Some days the poor thing was so jittery the coffee machine would vibrate off the shelf.
Yeah, so I don't know much about the world of Terry Pratchett. I've never read any of his books, but I used to play this game with my dad, who's a reasonably big fan of Terry Pratchett. So, yeah, we're playing it because it's a great game.
The Wharf.
Even though I'm playing Cyber Sleuth at the same time, which is another detective game, but this is very different.
The Wharf was on the upmarket side of the river, in the city of Ankh. The Morpork docks on the other side of the river were not a place wise travelers disembarked at. But then again, wise travelers tried to avoid Ankh-Morpork altogether. But if you traveled a lot, it was hard to miss, like malaria.
So I remember lots of stuff about this game. Like, no, you can get a thing here, maybe? Is that a thing I can do yet?
Along the length of the wharf were hundreds of posts for mooring ships to. It seemed like a lot of bollards to me.
That's funny.
What did I need bollards for?
I want the rope and the bollards.
It wasn't like I could move them anyway.
Do I not get that yet, maybe? Yeah, I played this game reasonably recently, like, I don't know how recently exactly, but maybe like the last 6 years at some point, probably. What does this guy want?
The sailor was busy loading the ship, and I decided not to disturb him.
Anyway, so yeah, it's basically a point-and-click detective game. It's like Ace Attorney, I guess, but you don't go into a courtroom ever, you're just looking for stuff. But there's more mechanics to it that develop over time. But for now, it's basically talking to people and finding stuff out.
Arr! Shiver me timbers! Hoist the main brace!
Let's start again. Are you the first mate?
Aye, that I be.
You're not going to get any money off me, so you can drop the fake accent.
Sorry, you know how it is. Some people are stupid enough to fall for that sort of thing. What can I do for you?
What can I do for you? So yeah, so now I have the option to leave, talk to him, talk about stuff in my notebook, or show him an item. So we'll start generally by talking to people.
When do you sail?
As soon as we've got her loaded.
How much is passage?
Where are you looking to go?
I don't know. Sort, perhaps.
We've just come from there. It'll be a long time before we get back there again.
Did you bring any passengers?
Sure. We always try to take a couple of passengers. They pay their way, and if there's a big storm, they are very useful as to sacrifice to the angry sea gods. Of course, we tell people they were washed over the side.
So now I can
What were the
press things.
passengers on the last voyage like?
There were 3 of them. One of them seemed all right, but the other 2, I don't know about them. There was something strange about them.
Oh.
Do you sacrifice passengers often?
No, the captain doesn't like it. He says it's bad for business. I said that we were advertising ourselves as offering an exciting tour of the Circle C, but he pointed out that most people would expect the tour to be above the water. If I'd had my way, we'd have thrown some people off the last voyage.
Bad omens?
The whole crew had a bad feeling of dread from the moment we set off.
Looking at the state of the ship, that doesn't come as a surprise.
Oh dear. Okay, let's talk to him about some stuff. What have we got? So I have different pages here of information. So that's contacts and secrets or whatever. Monday case. Oh, Monday case. Contents. Oh no, contacts and suspects. Okay, let's talk to him about Monday. If it'll let me?
Carlotta, at the
Yeah,
beginning...
but I want to talk to him about Monday. How do I do that?
This
Oh,
is the
there we go.
Milka, isn't it?
That's what it says on the prow.
It's impossible to read anything written on that hull.
Just because you can't read it doesn't mean it isn't there. Reality is subjective after all.
Don't
That's
get all
true.
existential with me.
It was more ontological than existential.
That's a really bad habit you've got there.
What? Oh, sorry. I picked up a bad case of philosophy in East Tuesday a couple of years ago, and I haven't been able to get rid of it since. Just can't seem to shake it off.
I've got friends who have the
Nor
same
does
problem.
anything one minute. Next moment, I'm wondering if anything can truly be said to exist. A bit of a drawback when you're supposed to be navigating.
Okay. Assuming the existence of an objective shared universe, is this the Milka?
Yes.
Can I have a look on board?
No.
That better not be some kind of philosophical objection.
No one gets on board without Captain Jenkins' permission.
Where is the captain?
I don't know. But you could try the Cafe Ankh. He usually goes there when he's in Ankh-Morpork. If it exists, of course.
Oh, that's information we can use.
Was there a man named Mundy on the last voyage?
It's funny you should ask that. You're the second person today to have an interest in Mundy.
Who was the first?
A dwarf. He didn't give his name. I don't think he was from round here, though.
What about Mundy? What was he like?
I don't pry into the passenger's business, but for a man who came on board pretty happy, he seemed pretty unsettled when he left. Not that I blame him. Something was definitely amiss on this last voyage.
Do you know where he is now?
Mundy? No. Like I said, I don't pry into passengers' business.
Unless you actually look through their luggage after they've been washed over the side.
Hey, what are you inferring?
I'm not inferring anything. I'm implying that you might have had a look at their luggage at one point.
If I had, I certainly wouldn't admit it to you.
Which either means you didn't look, or you didn't find anything of interest.
You better watch your step, son. It's not good to make accusations like that.
Don't worry. Anything we discuss is strictly between you, me, and anyone else I tell.
Dump. Inquisitor Stranger.
Since that was who I...
Whatever, Lewton.
What do you know about a woman named Carlotta?
Doesn't ring any bells, I'm afraid.
No, I probably wouldn't.
What was strange about these passengers?
I don't know. One of them seemed kind of foreign. I mean, more foreign than most.
Do we know anything else? No, okay, so I want to go down pages, don't I? I want to see more information. No, I think we're done with this bloke. I just want to show him my purse. Let's not show him my purse.
Well, safe voyage, if that's possible.
Well, there we go. So that's basically how most of the game works, talking to people to find out crap. Okay, this goes over here, I believe. Yay. No, where's my office? I don't want to be here. Get out. There it is, up there. I really like the music in this place, so that'll be nice for me. Not this music.
You can't recall if the whiskey knocked you flat, or if everything was a blur when you met her. All that you remember are the tunes of a vampire, a melancholy tune about impending doom. I'll fetch your tankard, fill it to the brim. A cask of stale, broken drum ale. Wondering how long till you meet again on the bank of the Ankh.
God, look at me go.
Too much to drink, you could
I thought I told you never to play that song again. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lewton. It's just I wasn't expecting you to call by tonight, and... You weren't expecting me? It's only been 8 years, Samael. I guess my memory ain't what it used to be.
Oh, Grandma.
I don't know why Samael put up with my temper. He could have broken every bone in my body if he'd wanted to. But that's what made him special, I guess. that he'd take almost any kind of abuse from the clientele, and he'd still be there at the piano, playing better than anyone else in Ankh-Morpork. I decided not to disturb Samael while he was working.
Fair enough. What's up here? Nothing. This is the music I like. Ba-dum-ba-dum-dum.
Are you
Oh,
Captain
hello.
Jenkins?
That depends on who's asking.
Don't play games. I'm just after a few answers.
That song really put you in a bad mood, didn't it?
If you're trying to get me angry, it's working.
No need to get upset. You need to drink more and think less.
If I drank any more than I do now, I'd never think again.
That's the ticket.
Come then, Captain Jenkins. Captain Jenkins!
So, you're the captain of the Milka.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
ordinarily I'd be happy being a captain of a fine ship like the Milka. But after this last voyage, I'm thinking of taking up farming.
tough journey.
I don't want to talk about it.
What was so bad about the last voyage?
I told you I don't want to talk about it.
Sometimes it helps to talk about these things.
Why would I want to talk about it?
All right, let's put that another way. I want to talk about it, and the sooner I finish talking to you, the sooner you can get back to drinking.
By that logic, my best bet would be to just ignore you and carry on drinking.
I was never much good at logic. I did home economics at school.
Well, that means that it's 20 minutes since I started, so we'll call that an end for now. Actually, no, we won't. We'll finish talking to him about these things.
I
But
was
we won't do
hoping you'd
notes.
let me have a look around on the Milka.
I was hoping that I was going to make enough money to be able to buy myself a harem of exotic dancers called Chantel. But it looks like we're both going to be disappointed.
Is there any way I can persuade you to let me on your ship?
Is there any way I can persuade you to go away?
We'll come back in a second.
I'll
don't you?
see you around, Captain.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know it started a bit slowly, but it's a really good game, so hopefully you'll come back to watch more of it. And for now, I'm calling it a day. So if you liked it, please like and subscribe, and hopefully see you next week. Bye bye.